1. Which of the following is a key characteristic of adult learning theory? A. Learners need constant external motivation. B. Adults prefer structured, teacher-directed learning. C. Adults bring prior experiences to the learning process. D. Adult learning is primarily based on memorization. 2. What is the primary goal of formative assessment in educational settings? A. To assign grades to students. B. To provide feedback for improving learning. C. To test final knowledge retention. D. To select the best performing students. 3. What role does the mentor play in a mentoring relationship? A. To evaluate the mentee's knowledge at regular intervals. B. To guide, support, and share knowledge with the mentee. C. To provide the mentee with a complete fixed learning plan. D. To administer exams to the mentee at the end of each session. 4. In the context of curriculum development, what is the first step when designing a new program? A. Determining the assessment methods. B. Identifying the educational needs of the learners. C. Creating a list of course materials. D. Setting a detailed schedule for the course. 5. What is a key advantage of using blended learning in adult education? A. It reduces the need for any in-person interaction. B. It limits the use of technology to enhance learning. C. It provides flexibility while combining face-to-face and online learning. D. It only focuses on classroom-based learning. 6. Which of the following is an essential component of effective communication in adult learning? A. Using complex vocabulary to challenge learners. B. Providing one-way lectures without opportunities for feedback. C. Encouraging open dialogue and active participation. D. Limiting the use of multimedia to avoid distractions. 7. What is the purpose of a needs assessment in curriculum development? A. To evaluate the performance of the teacher. B. To determine whether the learners have met previous learning outcomes. To identify the gaps between current knowledge and required skills. D. To create a budget for the course materials. 8. Which type of assessment is most appropriate for measuring the skills and knowledge gained at the end of a course? A. Formative assessment. B. Summative assessment. C. Peer assessment. D. Self-assessment. 9. How can a facilitator best support adult learners during a collaborative activity? A. By ensuring the group remains silent and focused. B. By providing clear instructions and allowing learners to contribute equally. C. By dominating the discussion to guide the learning. D. By only allowing questions at the end of the activity. 10. Which of the following strategies is best for promoting lifelong learning in adults? A. Providing one-time intense training programs. B. Offering a variety of continuous learning opportunities tailored to interests and needs. C. Requiring all learners to complete standardized assessments. D. Focusing on the same content in every session to reinforce skills. 11. What is a key difference between evaluation and assessment in educational contexts? A. Evaluation measures the effectiveness of a program, while assessment measures individual progress. B. Evaluation focuses solely on final grades, while assessment is more comprehensive. C. Evaluation is only concerned with learners' final performance. D. Evaluation is conducted only by external examiners, while assessment is internal. 12. Which of the following best describes a self-directed learner? A. One who relies solely on instructors for direction. B. One who manages their own learning process and sets goals. C. One who prefers traditional classroom settings. D. One who only engages with material when required by a teacher. 13. In mentoring relationships, how can mentors enhance their mentees' development? A. By providing the mentee with all the answers. B. By challenging the mentee to think critically and offering constructive feedback. C. by avoiding difficult conversations to maintain a positive environment. D. By setting a rigid one-size-fits-all approach for every mentee. 14. Which of the following best illustrates formative feedback? A. A teacher gives feedback on the final exam results. B. A peer provides feedback after a group project to improve performance. C. A learner is graded on their knowledge of the subject at the end of the course. D. An instructor conducts a final evaluation to determine pass-fail status. 15. What is the most effective way to engage adult learners during an online course? A. By limiting interactivity and focusing solely on content delivery. B. By incorporating interactive elements such as discussions, polls, and quizzes. C. By avoiding any form of student interaction. D. By requiring learners to complete large amounts of reading without feedback. 16. How can an instructor ensure that learners retain knowledge over the long term? A. By using passive learning techniques only. B. By offering frequent assessments and varied learning activities. C. By reducing the time dedicated to practice and discussion. D. By providing information at a faster pace to cover more material. 17. Which of the following is an example of a valid learning outcome in adult education? A. Learners will understand the basic principles of adult learning. B. Learners will complete the course within 2 weeks. C. Learners will remember every fact presented during the course. Learners will apply new knowledge to real-world situations. 18. Which is a characteristic of a learner-centered educational environment? A. The instructor controls every aspect of the learning process. B. Learners are passive recipients of knowledge. C. Learners actively participate in their learning and decision-making. D. The curriculum is rigid with no room for learner input. 19. What type of assessment is typically used to assess the performance of a learner throughout the course? A. Formative assessment. B. C. Peer review. Final project. 20. Which adult learning principle emphasizes that learning is most effective when it is linked to real-world situations? A. Active learning. B. Experiential learning. Repetition. D. Competency-based learning. 21. How can instructors encourage learners to take responsibility for their learning? A. By providing all answers and minimizing learner involvement. B. By offering self-assessment tools and encouraging goal setting. C. By focusing solely on lectures with no activities. D. By controlling every aspect of the learning process. 22. What is the purpose of accreditation in education? A. To evaluate the content delivered by instructors. B. To ensure that programs meet specific educational standards and quality. C. To assign grades to students based on performance. D. To provide a diploma to learners upon completion. 23. What type of evaluation method is commonly used to measure a program's success after completion? A. Pre-assessment. B. Post-assessment. C. Formative assessment. D. Summative assessment. 24. Which of the following strategies can improve communication in a diverse adult classroom? A. Using jargon and technical terms frequently. B. Encouraging group discussions and active listening. C. Using a one-size-fits-all approach for all learners. D. Limiting feedback to only written communication. 25. How can an instructor best support a learner with different learning preferences in a classroom? A. By offering the same teaching approach to all learners. B. By tailoring instructional methods to various learning styles. C. By focusing on visual content only. By only using auditory methods to engage learners. 26. In adult education, what is the benefit of collaborative learning? A. It promotes individual learning rather than group activities. B. It helps learners share knowledge and develop problem-solving skills. C. It discourages interaction between learners. D. It eliminates the need for teacher involvement. 27. How does evaluation support continuous improvement in adult education? By identifying areas where learners performed poorly, which can be used for remediation. B. By evaluating the teacher's performance to ensure they are meeting objectives. C. By ensuring learners pass the course, regardless of their progress. D. By measuring the financial costs associated with education. 28. What is the main focus of andragogy in adult learning? A. It focuses on how children learn. B. It emphasizes the role of adults as self-directed, goal-oriented learners. C. It encourages passive learning methods for adults. D. It uses traditional schooling methods exclusively for adults. 29. How does formative assessment help instructors adjust their teaching strategies? A. It provides immediate feedback to learners but not to instructors. B. It offers insights into areas where learners are struggling, allowing instructors to adjust instruction. C. It only helps in determining grades for students. D. It focuses on grading assignments without feedback. 30. In mentoring relationships, which technique is most beneficial for providing constructive feedback? A. Offering vague suggestions for improvement. B. Providing specific, actionable feedback that can help the mentee grow. C. Focusing only on what the mentee did well. D. Avoiding any feedback to prevent discouragement. 31. What does the term adult learning principles refer to in the context of educational theories? A. The process of teaching children. B. The methods that are most effective for adult learners. C. The theoretical frameworks for traditional schooling. D. The techniques used in online education.